What's good, boy dudes and boy dudettes? And yeah, it's been a while since I've last reviewed an Attack on Titan chapter, and it's not that I stopped reading it. I have read it, but I don't know. The previous 3 or 4 chapters weren't really that. They weren't as amazing as like chapters 199, 120, 121, 122, and 123, like with Eren going back in time, which was really epic. And these chapters were just more like reactions and like characters kind of reacted to the rumbling and all that lot, and Annie, which was pretty nice and all that. But I found like, especially the recent two chapters, a bit rushed in a way, which I was getting really worried that I was like, oh no, Attack on Titan is starting to go the Game of Thrones route with just rushing the story. But this recent chapter has literally calmed me down, and we're back to like the proper pacing of Attack on Titan. It didn't feel rushed, it felt really well rounded. Yeah, it's my predictions for 128, but also it's kind of a 127 review. So before I talk about the predictions, let's kind of review this chapter and what's been happening. And it's called The Night of the End, which kind of foreshadows like this is like the start of the beginning, like this is now like we're at the end point now because of that title. And heavy spoilers coming your way of this chapter, you have been warned. So this chapter starts off with Jean and a woman and a baby. Now I have a lot of like theories on who this woman could be. She has brown, like dark hair, and I'm not really too sure who it could be. Some people have said it could be Mikasa, but the way she smiles, it kind of reminds me of like, is it Peak, the Card Titan girl? Just like that smile she has. It could be her, but I don't know. It could be any. Looking at Jean, it looks like a couple of years have passed, so this looks like it's kind of after the events like of what happened, and it looks like Jean is just kind of like debating whether he should be like happy living the lives he's living. And I think it's kind of like after Eren, like it could be after the rumbling, or it could be after what happened, but this is kind of like a little taster of what's going to happen afterwards, which was really nice. And then it cuts to Hanji basically waking Jean and they basically discussing taking down Eren. And I like how like Hanji and like Jean are kind of like bickering back and forth, and like Jean's kind of like thinking that maybe what Eren is doing is kind of right, but Hanji's just basically saying that no, this isn't right. How the people of the past, like in the survey corps of the past years, like how they risked their lives to try and like take down the Titans and try and discover the truth, and just having like the whole world be this like she doesn't agree with all that, And then we come to like the big like highlight of this chapter, probably one of the best kind of like scenarios in like a while, probably since the backstory on Ymera. Yeah, we basically have Jean, Connie, Mikasa, Armin, Hanji, Lelena, I can't say that dude's name properly. We got Annie and Reiner, Falco, and Gabi all there, as well as the Card Titan, and they're basically discussing the situation. And what I really liked about this was that it's like the first time like we've seen these characters finally like talking and basically discussing like who's in the right and who's in the wrong. You got this Magif dude, I think that's what his name is, telling the Survey Corps, saying that they should never have interfered, and how the Mali people were like so close to like preventing Eren and Zeke from interacting and causing the rumbling. And then Jean's just basically he's angry. He's basically saying that we are not the evil ones, like you guys have been sending Titans to Paradise Island time and time again. And the death of Eren's mom, and how none of this would have happened if he didn't, they didn't do that. But then you've got Magif saying that these guys, yeah, even though they're like, they didn't have a part to play in like the 1,500 years of ethnic cleansing. The Eldian people are, the descendants of the Eldians, like all those years, thousands of years, over 1,000 years of all that suffering to Mali, and Annie's basically coming with a suggestion to try and talk to Eren, and how like even if they try and stop Eren, she's wondering if like Mikasa and like the rest of the Survey Corps might, you know, cause Marley, they're gonna be pissed, you know, like, you know, they're gonna like try and take them down, and they're gonna side with Eren. And yeah, Mikasa and Annie, all that bickering was just so fun and just really interesting. And a little funny scene with like Hanji calling a plane a flying boat, and it kind of is a little callback to when she was like waving to a car back in like 1, 2, 3, I think it was. And then we get like the twist that Liana was actually a Marleyan all along and not an Eldian, which I don't know. I always thought that she was always a Marleyan for some reason. Like, I don't know, like I feel like they mentioned it like in a previous chapter, like months and months ago about this, you know. So it didn't really come to me as like a big plot twist. I just love how like Liana is basically saying that despite them bickering back and forth, like she's saying that no one's really in the right and no one's really in the wrong here. And she's basically calling out everyone, saying Reiner is the reason why the wall was destroyed, Eren's mother was killed, like Annie betraying the Survey Corps and killing like the was it the Levi squad of that time, and a lot of people, and causing so much destruction. And Armin stealing Bertolt's power, and basically destroying the military port back in, was it chapter 101, I think it was, which was way back in the day, and calling out the Survey Corps for annihilating soldiers of Mali, when Eren basically went there and they had no choice, you know. And calling out Gabby for killing Sasha, and even though she, you know, seems to be like a nice girl, saying that no one's really innocent in this like situation, which I really did like. And yeah, this chapter was really nicely paced, you know. We got like Reiner and Annie basically revealing to the Survey Corps and Jean the truth of what happened to Marco, and you just see like the faces on like Armin, Mikasa, and Connie, but Jean is like super like, you know, he's really like aggravated by this, and saying like how if like they all sat down and like talked, telling the truth to one another, maybe all this killing would never have happened. And Hanji's saying that how like they, like even me, like I never in a million years would have seen like Reiner, Annie, like Falco and Gabby and Mikasa, Armin, Jean and Connie all sitting together eating dinner. It's really like interesting like how like Eren has just like kind of done this in a way, which is kind of leading me to a prediction on like Eren's destroying the world and he wants to say Paradise Island, but he's basically becoming like the ultimate villain here. So I kind of feel like, is he becoming this like ultimate villain for like everyone to like kind of like team up together and like take him down? Because if it's like that, it's kind of reminded me of like in Naruto during the 4th Great Ninja War, when Madara, aka Toby, basically declared war on the shinobi world, and like at the time like all the 5 nations weren't really, you know, buddies, and they kind of were like forced in a way. And I liked how Sasuke was saying to Naruto, saying how like even though the war will end, do you think the shinobi countries would like, you know, keep this alliance together, you know, like they might go back into like hating one another. And it's kind of reminded me of that in a way. Like, is Eren like doing all this to force everyone to try and take him down, to team up together, which is an interesting but really like flawed kind of plan in a way. I still feel like there's more to the plan with like Eren wanted to destroy the world. I'm not too sure what he wants to do, but now he has the founder, it's still kind of like, it's coming back to my original theory with Eren basically stealing the power of all the 9 titans and like sealing himself up like Annie so that no one could ever obtain that power. And I don't know, I feel like he might have the power to like take away the Eldians' power, like the subjects of Ymera's power, so like the ability to turn into titans so that they could be all normal in a way. But oh yeah, and Jean basically punches Reiner into a bloody pulp, and yeah, he's pissed. Like, you can tell, like, I understand why he's doing all this, you know, and but then Gabby's basically like stopping all this and saying how sorry she was and how they need their help, how she doesn't want the world to be destroyed, and yeah, it's a really interesting scene. And then you basically have like the gang basically like riding off to like the harbor it is, and yeah, it basically ends with the Jaeger not Federation, the Jaeger group basically all like preventing like, you know, those guys from like, you know, stopping Eren. And that's how it ends, to be honest with you. Yeah, so it was a nice chilled out chapter with like getting a lot of like, you know, like characters finding out stuff and all that lot and just kind of like getting it all out. It's despite everything that's happened, I still feel like this is like a last kind of like sweet moment before like it goes to crap in a way. I still feel like there's a lot more to Eren's plan than, you know, you think. And but this chapter was really nice. I'm loving like more like background scenes. Like I feel like Isayama has really improved on his like landscape drawings, which look really good. And just seeing how far he's come in his like art style and like how much better at drawing he is like this time around like before. And I'm just really liking it and digging this really detailed chapter. The fight, like, well, it wasn't really a fight, just Jean basically beating the crap out of Reiner, which was pretty cool. I would have probably done the same, like, despite what Reiner has done to them in a way. And it kind of makes sense. Obviously, my major theory for what's going to happen is, like, that first kind of panel with Jean in the future. Just the way he just kind of looks really sad in a way, and just saying how, like, he wants his wife and children to, like, live and enjoy happiness, but he's kind of like, he's a bit like off and on about it. He's debating on whether he should be happy because I feel like Eren has done it. He has destroyed the world in the future. Obviously this could just be like a dream that Jean's having, because it does cut to him being woken up by Hanji. So it could be just a dream and maybe it's not reality, but who knows? Yeah, we're in the end game, my dudes and dudettes. Tell me in the comments what your predictions are. I've kind of given a little bit of a scattery predictions video. But yeah, thank you for watching this review. Please like and share this video and comment down below and tell me what's your favorite chapter so far. That's it. Thank you for watching. As always, Baldy the View signing out.